Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
What's up, people? Referrals Podcast episode. Are you kidding me? Do you see who else is in here with me? By the way, if you're listening to this, you cannot see who is in here with me, and you're going to have to wait. But for those of you that see who's with me, I know you're as excited about today's episode as I am. I cannot wait. But of course, I'm going to make you wait. Just a couple of quick announcements. Number one, I've got to give the big shout out to Sheri Maher. That's not Jerry Maguire, show me the money. This is Sheri Maher out of Minnesota. She gave us a 5-star review on iTunes for the Referrals Podcast. She says, every Referrals Podcast episode is jam-packed with amazing ideas, and I've gone back to the beginning again because there's foundational gold in those early episodes. And I have to tell you, I love that shout out to Sheri. Thank you so much for the great comment and the 5-star review. But the thing is that's great advice, is go back and check out episodes 1 through 10 and just review those. Go through the ritual. I went through the 4 enriching rituals right in a row back in the first 12 to 15 episodes. Go back and check that out. Don't just listen to the latest one and call it good and keep moving forward. Go back to the first few. And I'm telling you, there's foundational gold there, like Sheri Maher said. Also, something that we've had a lot of success with is 30 mornings. We have a ton of people who have signed up for our 30 mornings class. Can you change your life in 30 mornings? Yes, you can. How did we help change people's lives? Is by helping them design their ultimate morning ritual. So what do they do when they get up? And we're not talking about getting up at 5 a.m. We're not talking about, it's not about getting up earlier. It's about getting up better. Well, that went fantastic. But I can tell you right now, I can mess up any one of their morning rituals in one thing that I would do to them. All I have to do is mess up their night's sleep. We all understand that the perfect morning ritual really starts the night before. So we have a class that we teach called Sweet Dreams. Sweet Dreams launches in February. It launches in a few weeks. I encourage you to go check it out at 30evenings.com. 30 evenings, EVENINGS.com. It's the perfect complement to 30 mornings. And even if you haven't taken 30 mornings, maybe you're a night owl. And you're like, you know what? I'm a night owl. I get a lot of energy at night. Sweet Dreams is perfect for you. 30evenings.com. Go check it out. I can't wait for it. I have a couple of surprise guests for Sweet Dreams that you're really going to love. And one of those is my guest here today. Our guest today is known by many, many titles. Max's mom. This is Max's mom. This is Michael's wife. This is the producer, engineer, editor, video editor, sheet put together of Referrals Podcast. She's a sister, a daughter, a cousin, a coworker, a friend, a wife, a mom, a superhuman being. Most of all, she's a believer in others. Actually, more like a cheerleader. And she really is. I love the word cheerleader. This is not part of her intro, but I'm going to say it anyway. Is cheerleader. I love that as a title. I love that. I mean, like, we think of, I don't know, whatever you think of cheerleaders, but the thing about it is it's cheer plus leader. You know, leader is strong, in the front, risk taker, bold, you know, just awesome. Like, in some cases, acrobatic and physically strong, and as well as being mentally tough and mentally strong. A great cheerleader, right, is a leader also in that they know the game. They know what's going on in the game, that kind of thing. And then there's the cheer aspect, which is, you know what, support them no matter what. They're down 36-6. It doesn't matter. We're cheering. We're trying to help them out. We're making them feel better. And you know what? That is Sheri Maher. She is a cheerleader. Super positive, super strong. I love that. Her passion is to help people maximize their time and energy in business and life in creative ways. She grew up in Kansas, although born in Missouri. We don't talk about that a whole lot. Attended the University of Kansas. That's right. She's a Jayhawk for her undergrad degree. And then, with her extremely brilliant husband, went to Baker University and got her MBA, all A's, by the way. She now lives in Atlanta, Georgia, but will always be a Kansas City Royals fan and a Kansas City Chiefs fan, as well as become an Atlanta Braves baseball fan. So, welcome to Referrals Podcast, Sheri Maher, Sheri Maher, Sheri Moore, Shelley Maher.
Stop.
Sheri Maher in the house.
Woo-hoo!
What's up? Literally in the house. We're literally in the same house.
We're literally in the same house.
That's right. She is in the house. We are in the same house. Now,
nice.
Here's the thing that I love about today's session is you're an expert on this. And what's funny is that a lot of time, here's the thing, what I don't want people to do is discount today's episode because you're my wife or you're related to me or whatever it may be, right? I don't think they will, but it's like Sheri is an expert on what we're talking about today. She has taught the class on this many, many times to raving reviews, and it sounds like we need to make it a part of Sweet Dreams the more that we're talking to people. But what we're talking about today, Sheri, are vision boards. So I want to, and vision boards, you know, is such a, vision board. So what the heck is a vision board? First of all, let's define what we're talking about today.
Yeah, well, I think in its simplest term, a vision board is just it's an actual visual representation of your future. I think it's your ideal future. It's where you want to go. I think it gives you something to work towards. But I think the other thing that I love about it is that it's artwork. It's your artwork. It's your creativity. It's you. And so there's no right or wrong, to it. It's you. It's a part of you.
Yeah, this evokes there was a documentary or a movie called The Secret that came out probably 20 years ago now. And in the movie, they had a gentleman by the name of Asaroff, John Asaroff wrote several books. One was called The Answer and a few other books. And he talked about his experience with a vision board. He actually put together a vision board and basically put it away. And then it came to behold, like 5 years later, they had moved into a new house and they're unpacking the boxes from his old office. And his son is there and is like, "What's this, Daddy?" Right? And what's interesting is John had like tons of books, tons of things in the office. But the child was attracted to the pictures that caught his eye. And he was like, "What's this, Daddy?" And John looked at it and he literally like started crying. He literally like just went like that and just teared up because on his vision board from 5 to 10 years before, he had a picture of his dream home, and the home they had just bought and moved in was the exact same house that he had on his vision board. And he didn't even know when he put the picture of the vision board house, he didn't even know it was in California. He didn't even know the address. He didn't even know what house it was. But it was the house that he literally had just bought after moving from the Midwest. And just a huge, powerful belief in, vision boards and telling the universe, tell God, tell your future, what you want in it. And in this case, it was the house that drew him towards that house, and he ended up buying. He still lives it. I've actually had the opportunity to have dinner at the house and tour through it. And I've seen the vision board with the house in the house that he bought, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it was right after that, like the very first time I saw The Secret. And the very first time I did this, I didn't actually make the vision board, but instead what I did was I wrote out in detail, like our goals and how I envisioned, us. And this was back before 7L, when we had just a real estate team, and I wrote out like my perfect day, but I wrote it out. It was like 2 pages long, like from, like getting up in the morning and, how I walked on our heated tile floor in the bathroom, to I drove to work in my new car, and I could still smell the new car smell, the new leather interior on the inside. And I walked into our team office and was greeted by our receptionist and just all this stuff. And we didn't have any of that. Mm-hmm. At the time, like we had
no a 200,000 mile Honda Accord that would break down every so often, very unpredictably.
Yeah.
It is amazing how much you will thank God every time you start the car in the morning and it actually starts, right?
Yeah. But it was crazy. And so I wrote out this thing, and gosh, and then like years later, I was going through and I was actually transferring documents from one laptop to a new laptop. I had gotten a new laptop, and I found this document called My Day. And I was like, what the heck is this? So I go back and I'm reading it, and I was like, oh my God, like this document just described the day I just had. Mm. And like we had moved into a house, and we had put, when we built it, remember the heated tile floors we put in? I had to like have a whole long conversation with you on that. And then
I didn't even know they existed.
We had our, like that's when we had the Jaguar, and I wrote, and we had our own team office at that point, and we had our, like the best receptionist ever at the front desk. And it was so weird. I took the document and I emailed it. I remember I emailed it to you. So I was in our bedroom and you were like downstairs watching TV, and I emailed it to you. And I remember you emailed me back and you're like, great review of your day. And I'm like, look at when I wrote this document.
Because it said my day, right? It said my day. And I was like,
I wrote this document like 5 years ago. And you were like, what?
Yeah, this was even before The Secret came out, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was awesome. And another great example is like, the first thing that anytime you teach something is you have to talk about why. Why am I learning this? Why should you do a vision board? And for me, I had this dream of having a Porsche. I had kind of your older Porsches back in the day, but when I started selling real estate, I had some success the first year, and the second year I was very, very aggressive with this, and I had some really lofty goals. And I said, all right, if I achieve this goal, then I'm going to get myself a Porsche, right? Mm-hmm. And I looked through, and I honestly, there's red and there's yellow, and those are very like bold and exciting colors. And then, but the one I actually picked was a silver. It's a little more subtle, in my opinion. It was a little more classy, right? And it had a navy blue top with navy blue interior, so a rich like navy blue. And so that was the one that I cut out and put on my master bedroom mirror. And I literally had that taped to my mirror all year long, worked. And then Sheri came to me in October of that year and said, hey, listen, you've achieved your goals for the year. You got it, so you can get your car. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, we're going to pay cash for a car? That, like, what? And then it was like, all right, we got to find that car. We got to, and it had grown on me, right? And here's the thing. We went out looking and
couldn't find
lots of red ones, lots of yellow ones, black ones. There were some silver ones, but they had black tops and black interiors. And trust me, if you live in Kansas, you're trying to avoid the black interior as much as you can. especially during the summer. And so literally for 2 months, could not find it. Could not find this Porsche Boxster S that I wanted. And so you kind of just like you look, but you're not crazy about it. Well, I'm telling you, sometimes these stories, they become stranger than, truth is stranger than fiction kind of deal. We're driving on I-35 in Olathe, Kansas. Because when you are in real estate, you drive on every road in Kansas. Well, we're driving, and Sheri goes, "There's your car." And I thought she meant like on the other side of the highway or, up on, or whatever. She goes, "No, it's over there." And I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "It's at the dealership."
And not only that, I'm like, it's at McCarthy Chevrolet.
Yeah. So literally we pull over and take the exit. And we took the exit and went on this little frontage road where there was this, the mini car dealerships. And it was at McCarthy Chevrolet, and pulled in, and there was a silver Boxster with navy blue top, navy blue seats. And so we keep going with this, right? So I go up to it. It's not even clean yet. It's literally just sitting in the parking lot. And the guy comes out, and he really wanted to sell me a Corvette. But all I was interested in was this silver. And they had just gotten it in trade-in that day from an 80-year-old guy who traded it in, and it hadn't even been cleaned yet. It hadn't been serviced. It literally had been on the lot for a few hours. And we saw it, and we bought it right there, drove it out. And I'm telling you, it was like, you want to talk about great cars? That car was one. I mean, we've had a lot of great cars, but that car, no service.
That was definitely your favorite.
Change the oil once a year, and that son of a gun was. And when I got new tires put on it, it was just like, and convertible. So anyway, I'm reminiscing here a little bit. But the thing about it was, here's what's cool about, even if you don't go to the full, I don't want to say extreme of doing a full vision board, you can do parts of this and reach your goals. And it helps you reach your goals. And the other part of it too is that, here's what's interesting. Please notice that I didn't see the car at McCarthy Chevrolet. Sheri did. So when you put a vision up there and you share, then other people will help you achieve your goal, and they will help you achieve your vision. But if I had never put that picture on the thing, Sheri may not have ever known that this was like the car that I wanted, or even that I wanted a car at all as a reward for achieving my goals. So, the why is, guess what? You're going to probably achieve your goals faster, but you're also going to get help achieving them if you will just put it out there on a vision board or out where people can see it. So hopefully everybody who's listening right now or watching this on YouTube, they're convinced that they need a vision board. They should have a vision board. And by the way, there are, I believe, some examples of these at our Generosity Generation group. You can go to joingengen.com and join our private Facebook group. Just when it says, "How did you hear about us?" put podcast and answer the questions, and we'll get you in. If you don't answer the questions, we're not going to let you in. It's just how it works, right? We got to have a filter. So we have a private Facebook group. We'd love you to join. There's some examples there in the files section. But at the very least, what I hope is you are convinced that you've got to have some level of vision board and something to visualize to pull you forward. So, Sheri, what are some important things that we've got to have on our vision board now that we're convinced to have one?
Well, I think the first thing you have to have, of course, pictures, but okay, what do I have pictures of? So I think the first thing you actually have to do is start with your goals. So you need to have your goals on there. You need to have pictures that represent your goals. And then I think the other thing that's really important, my vision boards the first of the year look very different by the end of the year because I always make sure there's white space on my vision boards because I actually write on my vision board throughout the year. So like maybe I'll write like something inspirational or if I've achieved it early, I'll put the date or I'll add to it kind of throughout the year. So, and I think the more that you write on it and make it truly your artwork, it just kind of brings it all together better.
Isn't that amazing? Is that some people I've seen, their vision boards are covered with pictures. Like they literally don't have anything written on it. And then I've seen others where it's all writing. It literally is, divided out, or it's very whiteboard-ish looking, and one part of it might be people respond to text differently than they do to pictures. But I love your idea of the combination of the two. You're actually combination of three. It's the photo or picture. It's the, you could have a picture of a quote. I know that you have some of those on there. So it's actually like text in a picture. And then having the white space. I love the white space to write because you could update your goal too. You could have a little thermometer there even where you like fill in, if you want to do 100 homes sold, you could fill in when you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, on your way to 100 and then, fill it in for 100 when you get to 100. So,
well, even like, I think it was in 2020, Max's vision board that he did. Yeah. One of his goals on there in 2020, when he did his vision board, was to be taller than mom by the end of the year. And he didn't quite make it by the end of the year. So, and he wrote 2020 real big in the middle of his board. And I remember he crossed through it and he just wrote 2021. Like, okay, I didn't make it 2020, but 2021 is going to be the year that I get taller than mom. And
it happened
very early in the year.
And it happened. Yeah. I love how, we've included Max in a lot of the things we do, right? With, the sweet dreams, the Sunday night ritual. Like he's so good at the Sunday night ritual with his clothes and laying his clothes out and getting ready for the school week. And that kid goes through a lot of clothes. He's got a workout or a practice every day. So he always goes through 2 sets of clothes. So he's got a lot of stuff he's putting out. And so I love the white space to write. And, are there other important things to have on a vision board? Can we draw on it? Can we draw a circle or can we draw different things on it?
Well, I think that's the thing, right? Like there's no rules. Like it's your board. So you can do whatever you want.
Can we write in cursive? Because that's out right now.
You can't write in cursive because nobody can read your handwriting.
Oh, that's so not true. So I sign books every day that you can read what I wrote.
I know what you write. That's why I can read it.
Yeah. But we all know that you're writing all yours in all caps because Sheri Maher always writes in all caps. Like she's yelling at you all the time. So,
I know. I can't help it.
All right. So paper or electronic? Paper or electronic? Do we have to do a paper vision board or what do you think about the electronic ones? I know that the author, Jack Canfield, has an app out there where you can do an electronic one and that kind of thing. What do you think?
Well, I think if you do it electronic, you still got to print it out because otherwise you risk like, oh, you made this vision board and it's perfect. And then like, okay, file, save as 2022 vision board, close. And you will never look at it again.
Yeah.
And so I think paper, like I think old school paper, post it on your wall, put it in your, like somewhere where you'll see it, put it in your closet, put it somewhere. I think you got to see it.
Can you have more than one?
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. I think people, and I know this is like kind of the next area we're going to go is like, where do you start? And some people think like, oh, okay, I'm going to make a vision board. And they like just start cutting out pictures. And then they have this like really cool collage of like I don't know, stuff, like everything that you love, but like, where is where are you going with this?
Yeah.
And so the other extreme too is people get like a piece of poster board and you're looking at it and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know what to put on here. So I think that you kind of have to have a plan. You have to be able to start somewhere. And the place that I start, and this will be something that we can share with everybody, is I put together this goal workbook.
Yep.
And so I kind of broke down like 7 areas, right? Give back and personal, spiritual, health and wellness, financial, business. So all these different areas that you can start with. And if setting your goals for 2022, if that's too big, okay, then set your goals for the next quarter. Mm-hmm. Set your goals for the next month. Maybe like there's just like 2022 is just your year for health, wellness, fitness. Make your whole vision board about just health, all your health goals. So you can have more than one. You can, like I said, you can make them quarterly, you can make them monthly, you can make them about one thing, you can just do one for the whole year, whatever, whatever you're feeling creatively, is kind of what you should do.
I love the flexibility of that, because I think many people do it for the year, and then I think once they're hung up, they feel instantly overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. 100 transactions, and they have 0 on the board, mm-hmm. To start with. And even after January, they have 1 on the board or 2. And right. It's just very overwhelming and that kind of thing. So, I think that goes back. I love that you start with goals and what do you really want to dream or achieve? What do you really want? And it really goes into a lot of what we teach in Gen and the 7L system that a lot of people don't teach, which is activity goals versus results goals. And maybe what goes on your vision board isn't necessarily have to just be the result. You could have the activity. So if you know that making phone calls leads to the results you want, maybe it's a picture of you on the phone, or maybe it's a picture of the phone, or maybe it's a picture of you making phone calls, or the time blocked for phone calls, or, and then you can even go the opposite way, which is you make the phone calls, which leads to the money, which leads to what? What are you going to buy with that money? And and you have on your thing, it has a little phone, and it has a little dollar sign, and then it has a Porsche, right? Well, the Porsche is what pulls you to get the money, and the phone calls are what leads you to the money. So you look at it and you go, all right, I need to make my phone calls today. Yeah, maybe that's how it works, right? So there's activities goals, mm-hmm. and then there's results goals. And results goals are the money, the car, the house, the awards, the recognition. All those are the results. But a lot of times what you need to focus on is what are the activities that are going to lead to the results. Working out every day is going to get you to the weight loss, right? The weight loss is the results goal, but you got to eat right to get the goal, right? So it's eating healthy. I know that was a big one on your board, and it's amazing. I mean, you lost how many pounds in 2021, and you look, honestly, you look like when we first met, which was like 45 years ago. So, I mean, we go to a restaurant and she gets carded, right, for a PG-13 movie. I mean, it's like, but you look so youthful and healthy and it's like, I know that was a big focus for you in 2021, right? So you said eating healthy. It wasn't just like lose weight or do this. So love that. So you start with the goals, and you have a great goal setting sheet that you mm-hmm. go through when you teach the vision board class. And by the way, is this going to be a download that's available to people who listen to this episode? So
everyone can get this.
Yeah. So they'll go to Join Gen to get that.
Well, it'll be posted at Referrals Podcast on referralspodcast.com with the episode. Okay. I can also post it in the Gen group.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah.
And you also have a great like sample sheet of how to organize your vision board. And I love what you said earlier. However somebody wants to organize their vision board is the right way for them. Mm-hmm. But like me, give me a little bit of structure and I'll do great. Don't just say you can do it any way you want to do it, because I won't do it. But if you tell me like this, so what's that look like? So you've got a sheet for that, right?
I do. I have a template, and I always start with, like, I put the year in the center, and well, a couple of reasons. Like, then it's like, oh yeah, that was from 2019. That's 2020. That, you know what I mean? So, and then and here it breaks it down in 7 different areas. So what I did was I just kind of something like
a mind
this.
map.
So it's like
just a circle in the middle with the year, and then you've done.
Then you just have the 7. Yeah, 7 sections all around it that kind of go all around it. So each one of these sections is like, this is health and wellness, and this is personal, and this is your business goals, and this is, and you can just kind of go around all 7 areas if you need a template.
Love it.
So
that
helps
an easy way to do it. Mentally, that helps me a ton.
And 2, like when you put your goals in here too, with the different things, you put your pictures in the different areas. And then 2, like I said, there's space for you to write. Now, of course, this is on just like a regular size sheet of paper.
Yeah, but you can, the idea is there.
Yeah,
the
idea is there.
To 18 by 24 if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, or, go get
How big is your vision board? How big is the vision board in your office?
Well, I don't want to, I'll show you this is one of my old ones, but this is like this is a full size.
Yeah, is that 18 by 24? Probably is.
This is I don't know. This is a full poster board. So it's probably it might be 24 by 36.
Okay.
Whatever a poster board is, but you got the year
about
in the
same size as the picture behind you.
Almost.
Yeah.
So it's big.
I like it.
So there's room, and there's plenty of space to write, and
for those of you that are listening to this, you may want to go to the YouTube channel just to see what she just showed. She showed the her vision board from 2020, and on a big sheet of paper, right? Mm-hmm. So it gives you a feel for that. So all right, so we've got our goals defined. What's next? What do we do next?
Yeah, just like supplies. So get your board, and it, like we were just talking about, if you don't want to do like a full-size poster board, you can do a half a sheet of poster board. You can just take an Amazon box and cut it in half, a cereal box and open it up, a piece of paper, anything that's going to serve as where you're going. You're going to need scissors and glue, and I love double-sided tape as opposed to just regular Scotch tape, because it's double-sided, makes it easy to stick it down.
You like glue?
Yeah, glue,
like
glue
the
sticks,
glue stick. Yep.
Hot glue, whatever. Old magazines. Okay. But really, don't be limited by magazines anymore. A, because not very many people read them, and B, just Google image
is
search.
Your friend.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yep.
So you can find just about anything. So and then just start dreaming and cut and paste. And I think the other thing too is to really like set aside like a couple hours on a Sunday morning or
a cold
Friday
wintry
night.
Day, like in Marietta, Georgia. We're from Kansas. We have not seen much snow in the Georgia area. We got snow yesterday, very cold, and here on Martin Luther King Day, where we're recording this will be launched tomorrow. But it is extremely cold, and there's actually still snow on the ground, which is a first for me here, that there's actually snow on the ground for a whole day. So very cool, and great day to do vision boards and talk about vision boards, which leads us to this subject today. So you by the way, on your goals sheet, there's a million different goals, worksheets, goals, pamphlets, goals, classes, goals, courses. Like, how is yours different than maybe all the others?
Well, I have the 7 different areas where you can set your goals, but I think at and then the bottom of each page, I have you really think about like, why are these goals important to me? Because when you can identify why it's important, I want to be in better shape cardiovascularly, and I want to eat healthy, and I want to lose 8 pounds by the end of the year. Those are great goals, but why? I want to be in shape cardiovascularly because when I was little I had asthma, and I'm nervous about getting COVID, and I feel like if even though I'm vaccinated and boosted, and I do the hand sanitizer and all that, but I feel like if I'm in shape cardiovascularly, and if I do get it, like my lungs will be like in better shape to be able to handle something like that. Like, so that's important to me. Eating healthy every day is important to me because it is. Because I want to be around. I mean, like, Max told me, like, when he's going to have 8 kids, and I'm going to be his official like babysitter. So like, I have got to like be in shape.
You better be in shape if you're
be
8 kids.
Right.
Wow.
I've got to like, be ready for this years down the road. And I want to be around. And so that's why, like, that's important. That's why those things are important to me. Mm-hmm. And they may not be important to somebody else, but that's why those things are important to me. So
yeah, I love that. So you've taken SMART goals and taken the exciting or emotional and added it to it, right? And maybe really people think like, why do I want to do $1 million in real estate, right? GCI,
right?
Why do I want to, whatever it may be, and I love that. That's great.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to talk about too on the goal thing, you always talk about your SMART goals.
Yeah.
That's always helpful too.
Yeah. So for those that listen to this podcast, they're probably very familiar with setting goals with a SMART frame. And the SMART frame is an acronym. If you're a friend of the show, you're a friend of acronyms. That's for dang sure. So SMART is specific. Make your goal very specific, and it doesn't get much more specific than an actual picture of exactly what you want, even if it's a silver Porsche with royal blue or navy blue top and interior. So specific, and I will tell you that is a key to achieving your goals. The more specific you can be, the more that you're going to be drawn towards it and pulled towards it and be able to achieve it. And then, it's like, I want to golf more this year. Okay. So the first question might be, how much did you golf last year? And if you don't know, well, then you can't be very specific with that. And so we've got to be specific with our, with our goals. And then M is for measurable. They need to be not miserable. Your goals should not make you miserable. Your goals should be measurable. How are you going to keep score? They, in a basketball game, they don't just shoot around and run up and down the court and don't worry about, who makes it or who misses and just, hey, you're playing basketball, right? No, they keep score. Why? Because you're allowed to measure and change things and tweak things. If the ball's not going in more, you need to get closer shots or better shots or become a better shooter. So measurable. And then the A is attainable. It needs to be something that's attainable or achievable. If you're doing 20 transactions and you set a goal for 2,000 transactions the next year, probably not achievable or attainable. It might be, right? Prove me wrong. I'd love for you to do that. If you weigh 225, losing 235 pounds, not a good idea, right? So it's like, but what's attainable? What's achievable? And I will tell you, that's one of those things that really frustrates me with a lot of people who talk about goals is, you share a goal and then they say, double it, right? And I know what they're doing. They're trying to make you think bigger and all that. But the truth of the matter is like, if I set my goal at $1 million in gross commission earnings or income, and they say double it, and all of a sudden my goal is to do 2 million gross commission earnings or income, then whose goal is the new goal? Well, it's really that trainer's goal is the new goal. And they just took ownership of it because they told me to double my, and here's the other thing is, how substantial does my $1 million gross commission income goal feel now that I was asked to double it? It feels less. It feels like it's not as good. It's like, man, I set a really high, lofty, strong goal for myself, and yet it's nothing compared to doubling it. And so it's like it just like, I don't believe in that philosophy. I think you set an attainable, achievable stretch goal. Stretch yourself, right? People that set goals typically are not ones to set like, minor league goals. They typically set stretch goals. So attainable and achievable is the key of this. If it's not attainable or achievable, a lot of times you'll just give up before you even start, right? And then R is relevant. Make sure it's relevant to you. Make sure it's relevant to your business. Make sure, and that kind of goes into the why are you doing this? Make sure it's relevant to your life, and that you really, if you're doing a goal to impress people you really don't like, who probably won't even notice, then that's probably not a goal that you should set. T is time bound. What is your goal, and when are you going to achieve it by? I have to tell you, that's one of the most important aspects of a goal, is a deadline. It's just like anything, right? If I tell you to get a paper done, just get a paper done when you can. It will never get done. If I say, hey, get a paper done by Friday at noon, you will have the paper done probably, quite honestly, at 11:59 on Friday. And there's all kinds of different laws and rules about, like, the length of time it will take to complete a task is exactly the length of time you have until the deadline of that task. And that's, the amount of time it takes fills up the amount of time it takes to get it done. So if you have 2 days, you'll take 2 days. If you have 2 hours, you'll get it done in 2 hours. So narrowing the time and the deadline, that's the whole premise, of the 12-week year. The book is really about, hey, just set 12-week goals instead of 12-month goals, and you'll achieve more because you have less time to do it in, right? And then the E and the R are the add-ons that I added to it, and it was the emotional and exciting piece is the E, right? It's exciting. Like, what excites you about achieving this goal? What excites you about this goal? What excites you about the process of achieving this goal? How are you going to become a better person because you achieve this goal? What's exciting about it? What's emotional? What makes you emotional about this goal, right? And then the R is, I can't believe that all these years we've been executing SMART goals and we haven't been talking about the R, which is the reward. How are you going to reward yourself when you achieve this goal? That was the Porsche Boxster. That was the reward. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound, all were like transactions and dollar and that kind of thing. But what really drove me was the reward. And that's what I love about the vision board, is that it shows the reward of your smarter goal. And that's what I love about how we put this together for the Gen, is that you've taken the elements of the vision board and then we've married it to this really powerful goal setting, smarter terminology. And it's like, all right, set your goal. What's the reward? Take the reward, and that becomes the picture that goes on your vision board. Very simple, very process oriented, and it's exactly what that person wanted. I know for you, the beach is really important, right? So it's like, you set a goal and the reward is beach time. It's time on the beach, putting your toes in the sand and just taking in, taking in the ocean, taking in the sun, taking in the beach and all that's about. You're a beach bum from Kansas. So I love that. All right. So final kind of, wrap it up kind of thoughts is, all right, how do we spice it up? How do we, what are some tricks or tips to make our vision board more fun, I don't know, more pretty, if you will, prettier.
Well,
that kind of
I think that one of the ways you can start is, a lot of people pick like their word for the year. And so that could also go on your vision board, kind of, front and center. And sometimes that word evokes images in your own mind. Mm-hmm. So what I thought was really funny is I was just looking at my 2020 board again, and So I make my boards in January. So I made it before like the lockdown and COVID and everything. And I
Did you have
literally
COVID
for
on
some
there?
reason, no, but
Yeah.
I have caterpillars and butterflies all over my board. And like I have new beginnings written like 3 times on my
Wow.
board before even the lockdown and all this stuff happened. Isn't that crazy?
That is
Like
wild. Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think you can kind of start with that too. And the other thing is like maybe you can go to like Adobe Images and just Google like something fun. Like this year I'm still kind of working on mine, and I'm to the point now I have my goals and everything, but I'm toying with the idea of making my vision board just like totally retro. So I've been like looking up like retro images, and I found like these really cool images of like cassette tapes and boom boxes and just like
Leg warmers,
tie dye, like
swatches.
just kind of fun. Just stuff like that you can kind of put in there too, and kind of theme your board. And so
I
anyway.
love it. I love the idea of stickers as well, like going to
Mm-hmm.
Amazon and ordering super positive stickers. Or,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you were in 5th grade and you really like to get a gold star for different things from your teacher,
Yeah.
and you never got any, like me. Mrs. Brown, we have a conversation to have. But gold stars, you could put gold stars all over your vision board, right? Or when you achieve a part of the goal, or you have 100 transactions, you get a star for each one, and eventually you have 100 on there, or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Or they have these, the stickers that say "way to go," or stay positive, or keep it real, or whatever. And you get those stickers, and you just put them up there when you feel the urge to put them up there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, and I love the idea of the pins and the different other things that you can. I know people who hang conference lanyards with the name badge on their vision board, right? And it shows like they went to RMS 2020. Well, they want to go to RMS 2022 or whatever. So they've got the 20 and the 22 or 21, and now they're ready to go to 2022 or whatever it may be. The only one thing that I would never, ever, ever, ever suggest for a vision board is glitter. I'm just telling you that I am on the anti-glitter campaign for life. I'm telling you that we had glitter on a gift we got. The gift was awesome. The glitter was the gift that kept on giving in a bad way. I mean, like literally still vacuuming, still picking it out of our dog, still taking it out of the laundry. Like glitter is the enemy. I'm just saying. So
whatever. You're lucky that we don't have girls, because if and anybody that has girls,
no, sparkles are great.
They've got
Sparkles,
glitter everywhere,
great.
always.
No glitter, no. All right. Are there any other things that maybe you do not want to put on a vision board that you can think of?
Well, I guess it would depend on, like, you wouldn't want to frame anything that you want in a negative way. Like don't
put what you don't want.
Yeah, I don't want to get COVID. Okay,
Wow. Yeah.
instead, let's say I want to focus on being healthy in 2022.
Wow. Dude, that might be, I know we're like 45, 50 minutes into this, but that might be one of the most powerful messages we've delivered the entire thing is frame everything in a positive term. Don't be anti or negative or put what you don't want up there, because God, the universe, the world doesn't know any better, right? It doesn't read don't. It doesn't read, it sees the picture, right?
Well, and the other thing, I remember reading this somewhere too, that the way that your brain processes, like if you're playing baseball and you go up to bat and somebody yells, "Don't strike out." The way that your brain processes that is strike out, don't. Like, and so like, it's like, okay, instead of saying don't strike out, I just say, swing hard, or, hit the ball.
Yeah.
So
I love it. That is a true statement, and that's the way to get the brain to work for you. That's the way to get the universe to work for you. That's the way to get God working for you. That's the way to get the world working for you, is to create a vision board. And any final words of wisdom or final thoughts or notes on putting together a vision board for the year, for the quarter, for the month, for the day, whatever they want to do?
I think just do it. And there's no right or wrong way. And if you are brave enough to share your vision board, we'll start a post in the Gen Gen group. And I'd love to see, love to see if you do one this year, and just post it and go from there.
Love it and love you. And I want to just say that you guys need to do a vision board. Everybody needs to do a vision board. You need to, at the very least, do a vision picture. Do one picture. Or if you want to write a story like Sheri did about her, we did an exercise called My Perfect Day. Write down your perfect day, literally from the moment you get up all the way through. And one thing that I want everybody to put on your vision board is a picture of the cover of Sweet Dreams, the notebook. This class is, first of all, awesome. But second of all, the journals that you get, the Sweet Dreams Nightly Journal, will literally blow your mind away. It is beautiful. It's amazing. It's worth 10 times what you invest in the class. Check out Sweet Dreams. You can check it out at 30evenings.com. There's an example of it right there. Sheri is showing it. Thanks for the model. And her shirt says keep it positive, which is so appropriate for today. So Sweet Dreams at 30evenings.com. Can you change your life in 30 evenings? Yes, you can. And we're going to help you do it. Go check out 30evenings.com. And for those of you that are maybe newer to the show, welcome to Referrals Podcast. And do me a favor, do yourself a favor, join gengen.com. Join the generosity generation. JOINGEN.com gets you to the front door of our private Facebook group. Fill out a few questions. We'll fill out a few answers for our questions, and we'll let you in, and you have joined one of the most powerful referral groups in the world. Welcome to the Generosity Generation. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another awesome episode of Referrals Podcast. We love you. Thank you so much for listening to us and tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Referrals Podcast.